Hi, Sparrows. It's Matters of the Heart Monday. Welcome to the room. I am Valerie Miller of TVM. The Valerie Miller. Double fold this very moment. You have opportunity to change. So come on in tonight. Tonight is the night. And you hear in the background there's a little Betty Wright going on. Just a little bit. I'm talking to the singles tonight. We're talking about dating. We're talking about being of a particular age and what dating looks like for us. The experiences that you're currently having. Decisions that we're having to make while dating. And of course, you all know that I am a conscious lifestyle strategist, right? So by me being who I am and having the contacts and the clients that I have continually, I hear all types of juicy conversations and some things that are startling to me, and then there are some things that are like, wow, these are the things that are happening in the streets today. So I decided that tonight was going to be the night, as you hear Betty Wright in the background, that we talk about some things that are very serious, that are detrimental to our health, to our lives as we grow. And I would hope that you guys are going to share, Sparrows. Share some examples. I most definitely am. And it's always, I come from my book, How I Became Fabulous, and a lady all the time. And of course, you know, there's many vulnerabilities that I put here, and it came from dating, it came from love, it came from grief, it came from hurt, it came from a whole number of things, not only just me. You know, these are things that you deal with as well. So, to pull from topic tonight, we're talking about dating, and of course, chapter 31 here basically states and talks about not settling. It's easy to settle in relationships. It's easy to settle in spaces where we are really ready for something great. We are ready for a relationship. We think we've met the greatest person on the planet. Turns out this person isn't so great. And however, the thing is, we know it. We learn about it early on. But then we stay. Oh my gosh, why? So you have to question, why am I staying? What is this about? And I decided to start with Betty Wright. Tonight's the Night. I select that song because, of course, anytime we have these types of one-on-one engagements, and this is coming from Girl Talk and Guys too, I chose that particular song. It's going to be a number of other songs that's going to be in rotation that you will hear in the background. And it's the reasons behind selecting these particular songs. It's just to startle just your mindset just a little bit. To make you go back to your first time, the first time, without me having to say it, your first time, and making the decisions around that. Was this person someone you had that you were in a relationship? Was this person someone that you were just interested in? Look at it for what it is. Dissect it. Call your own trump card. Have that mirror moment. Welcome to the room, Sparrows. Just know, whatever it is, it can be fixed. It could be a bruise. It could be something that needs to be looked at a little bit differently. And the reason why I'm saying all of this is because sometimes we grow up, however, we don't grow up. You know what I mean by that? Because if you don't know, I'm going to explain it just a little bit more. Hi, Katrina Nicole. Welcome, baby girl. Welcome in, Cedric. How are you all doing tonight? Denise, Shonda, everybody, welcome into the room. I know I said it's about singles and dating. However, there are married individuals that, of course, come in and support me every single week. Do not exempt yourselves tonight, because your opinions, your voice is vital in this space as well. We have to have people that we trust when it comes to making decisions. Like I was saying, I chose Betty Wright in the background. Let me know if you can hear Betty or not, and if you even recall who Betty Wright is. And when she said tonight, it stems from a poem that she wrote, that she had in her diary. This song dates back to 1975, if I'm not mistaken. And she was writing about her very first time, and she talked about it in a poem. However, her directors found her book, saw her diary, and just made it a song. Even though she recorded it back in 1975, it's still relative in 2019. So to think in my mind, at my age, when my first time came around, it wasn't something I was looking forward to. However, it was someone I was just so smitten with in high school. I'm not going to be all detailed and graphic here. No, just give you enough of a peep in the window to understand where I'm coming from with this topic tonight. Again, I am a conscious lifestyle strategist, and I have some very serious conversations with individuals on an ongoing basis. So don't be shy at all tonight, Sparrows. Do send up your likes, write into comments, things that may be of concern to you, things that should be dealt with, or something that's been playing on repeat in the back of your mind. Because even at younger ages, we made decisions that changed trajectory of our lives. You can only be a virgin once. That's it. So once you change your status in that space, I should hope and only hope that you're making the right decision with the right person to make that decision with. You can never go backwards. So if you are someone that comes in and you spend time with me every single week, be sure to put that you're a veteran. Put that in comments. If it's your first time in, let me know that it's your first time in, and say newbie. I like to know who's coming in and viewing and where you're coming from. It's always great to know that. And hi, Junior. Welcome into the room. It's just something that's been really playing the violin on my heartstrings here lately, and I know the time came to be tonight to talk about it. Because, like I said, at 17 was my first time. However, being 50 and having conversations with individuals today, that's both men and women, are making decisions like teenagers. Decisions like teenagers. And I say that for the simple fact I'm blown away by it. Decision making. Because when I have anybody over the age of 35 years old, dating is tough today. It is extremely tough today to date. So those of you who are married, congratulations. I'm so excited for you. I'm thrilled that you found someone fabulous to say, I do, I will, with, because it's not so easy. Hi, Princess. Welcome to the room, cousin. Hello, Veronica Morris. Hi, Sissy. Come on in. It is very tough dating today. It's not a walk in the park. It's a lot of decisions that has to be made. And with individuals that are older, we have children to factor in. We have so much to consider. Are you willing to settle? That's the topic for tonight. Are you willing to settle? Because I'm not. I've been on the island of isolation for 18, 19, maybe 20 months. And love it. Love it. Because of that last individual that I was seeing. He wanted to see me and others too. No. On again, off again. Wrote about him. Here. If you haven't read this book, please read it. Please. It's not about me so much, even though it's my stories in here. Everything I wrote here can resonate with each and every one of you. It's different ways of viewing the stories that I've had to share about myself, to put myself under the spotlight, to be real, to be raw, to be living in reality. That's what I've done here. So to say settling, it takes a lot to admit your woes. It takes a lot to talk about the things that you've dealt with in your life that brings you to the space to where you are presently. So I don't do or have the conversations that I have with clients, with family, with friends constantly, all the time, because of something that I heard about. Is experiences from tried and true real situations. I have to put myself on the forefront to be who I am, to share who I am, where I've been, and how I've become who I am. Fabulous and a lady all the time. So, coming from chapter 31, never settling, in the back room, you hear Caesar, The Weekend. I'll admit, the first time I heard that song, I was all about the beat of the song. Until one day, the Spirit, the Lord said, girl, you need to listen to the lyrics of this song. And I listened to the lyrics and changed the whole mindset of the song. Of course, it's no longer something that I'm just going to bop my head to because I like the sound of the beat. It's about the words of the song. It goes back to Mr. Right Now in my book. So in that space of my life, yes, that was a settled situation. On again, off again, 7 years. On again, off again. Time does not stop. It's constantly moving forward. Tick-tock like the clock. It's going to keep going, keep going, keep going. You have to look at who you are. Dissect yourself. Are you willing to share? Not me. Not at all. And just think back to the time when you were in a position and someone in your life that you sincerely cared about, and you put yourself in that space and something like that. That whole song, Weekend. She said, my man is my man and your man is her man too. 3 people to 1 person. I won't say he's done all that. However, my suspicions, the Spirit, that intuition tells you things like that. And when you have to make the difference. You have to make the changes in your life. So looking at it from that standpoint, what's next? What's next? What do you do? So when you've been with that amount of time, do you call it quits in the midst of it? That's where settling comes from. A lot of us play over in our mind, my gosh, it's been 7 years. Oh my gosh, it's been this situation I really care about. And then you forgive, and then, time continues to go. You forgive again, then time continues to go. You forgive. How many times do you forgive it? How many times have you forgiven it? More than I can count, I'll say for myself. However, when reality set in and realized, I love me more than this. I love my life, my health. You got to think about that, right? You got to think about that. This isn't healthy. Mentally, it's not healthy. Physically, it's not healthy. Emotionally. You have to look at these things. And having the one-on-one engagements with clients, with friends even. I'll never judge you. Never ever in a lifetime will I judge you. Never ever will I tell you to leave somebody. Not my place, not my call. It's always your decision. It's always your decision. And looking at that for what it is. For what it is. So put something in comments where you realize you've settled in the past at some point in time. What did you learn from it? Did you learn from it at all? Did you learn from it? Because I actually have a quote. I have a quote that surrounds that. The beginning of that particular chapter. And it's talking about the soul ties and detoxing from those soul ties. When you have to make that decision to let go of someone that you cherish, even though they may not cherish you so much. Or then it could be a role reversal. They're on the other end, and you don't care for them so much. I mean, I've been on both sides of the fence. Both sides. And had to take responsibility for that. You don't want to intentionally hurt somebody. However, when you do, be man enough or woman enough to admit your faults and make things right with those individuals. With this past person that was in my life, I forgave him, let it go. Turned into a stalker situation. I am not good with that. So if I never talk to him again, I'm good with that. I am good. Boo, I forgive you. Move on with your life. And he's gotten married at this point. He married one of the girls that he cheated with. And still calling me. Craziness. It's a lot of craziness taking place in the streets. Craziness. But are you willing to settle? I'm not. I'm not. So the quote that I used in the book, it reads, forget what hurt you. However, never forget what it taught you. In so many words. Look at it for what it is. Take your responsibilities. Pick up your broken spaces. Move on with your life. And I say that as if it's super easy. It's not. It takes time to get to this place. It takes some nurturing. It takes some friends and family. It takes your village, all those people that saw all of this coming down the pike before. They said something to you, but did you really hear them? Your village is important. So when settling, why are you settling? What is that about? Why do you settle? Only from my side of the fence, I'll tell you what took place when I realized I was settling. Well, it goes back to when I realized the amount of time that had been invested. That's a long time to be with somebody and say, okay, girl, you're going to just throw in the towel like that because the streets aren't kind. Are you willing to go out here and meet new people? Do you want to? I'm not one to do that. I'm an introvert. I will give you all of me 100%. However, when those warning signs, those red flags pop up, be mindful of them. Don't you dismiss. And I know in the book I will say, every time I would say, that's the intuition giving you a warning. Don't dismiss it. But my woe is going to be every single time I said, you know what? It's been a long time. Let me give him a chance to fix it. Let me do that. Again, back and forth like saloon door swing. You will see that a lot in the book. I've said that over and over and over when it comes to this individual. But tonight isn't about just this person. It's not. It's really not. It's about you. It's about you, Sparrow, and determining what dating looks like for you. What is your heart's yearning? What are you looking for? Are you qualified to date? Are you qualified? Because you need to be qualified in order to meet someone that's worthy of having you. Knowing what your worth is. Whether if you're a man or a woman, you only know what your worth is. You know where you're bruised and broken. You know where the hurts are. Have you taken the necessary steps to correct those woes, to mend those hurt spaces, patch up the broken places in your heart? Are you still a little salty? You have to be able to say, I'm good. I can move on now. I'm ready. Welcome to the room, Candace Carter. So, settling. In the background now, you're going to hear different songs from different artists because I always have songs of the evening whenever it's just us one-on-one. Time's a Wastin' by Erykah Badu. You know, time's a wasting. It's not waiting for you. What are you willing to accept in these relationships? And when you know something is not just quite right, are you going to be willing to stay there or pick up the pieces, accept it for what it is, and move on? Okay, Sissy, okay, Denise Brown Briggs says, it's not the length of the relationship, but it's about the strength of the relationship. Exactly, Denise. You are 100% right. I've had to learn to ask the questions. Like, this isn't something that's new. It's always been something that was a part of the questions that I would ask someone that I'm newly meeting or interested in dating. It is so vital to ask. What's your faith? I love to ask, what's your faith? Do you pray? Because I'm quick to pray with my mate. I'm quick to pray with you. Things can be great. Things can be not so great. I have to pray with you. And I need someone in my life who does the same. So you're right, Denise. It's the strength, because the more you pray together, the greater it's going to be. Katrina, KG, please tell AJ I love him too. Yes, and tell him we will do our live video, me and him. Angel Wright, welcome to the room. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's vital to date someone that you can pray with, someone that you can trust, get to know along those levels, because it's all about the foundation. If you don't have a proper foundation in a relationship, you can forget about it. You're not building on the right accord. You're not. So it's easy for the London Bridge to fall down if you don't have Christ in your life, whomever your higher power is. You have to have the foundation. That goes back to when I was talking about, are you qualified to date? You, Sparrow. You need to be healed. You need to be on one accord. You need to be on that isolation island or whatever you need to do, and have spent that time to restore yourself with your higher power. Because only He can direct you in the right direction. It's all about that. And staying prayed up throughout the whole endurance. Relationships aren't to the highest tier because you have met someone great even. It's continual prayer. It's continual prayer. It's staying prayed up. And knowing that you have aligned yourself and you're investing your time with the person that's deserving of you. However, we sometimes make decisions that aren't going to be something that's going to be later on we'll determine. He or she's just not it. However, when that time comes, then make the right decision for your life. Let it go, and let it go right away. Don't block blessings for some other person because you just don't want to start over again. That's the beginning of settling. But when you know, love yourself, trust yourself, know God's got someone great for you, because you're going to need more than love. You're going to have faith. You're going to have complete commitment, trust, someone you know you can rely on. And that's after you've had your discussion with Him, to know you've aligned with the right person. And that is something that's true to me, and I hope it is true to you also. However, with the relationships and the conversations that I've been having with individuals for the past several months, it is mind-blowing. I cannot share because of confidentiality with clients. However, what I can say is, love yourself enough to know you deserve the best. You do deserve the best. Don't stay in your place of past. You know you've had healing. You know you've changed. You know you've grown. It's up to you to make the decision to connect with the right person. And like I said, it's going to be different songs that's going to play in the background that's going to startle your memory and say, hey, oh my gosh, I remember that. Or what did you learn from each and every situation? Lauryn Hill, X Factor. Legendary. It's one of those types of songs that makes you think, what are you willing to go through? All this back and forth. Oh my goodness. Is it worth it? Are you qualified? Are you settling? Are you willing to settle? Are you willing to wait? Is the $1 million question. And I don't mean waiting by the phone or waiting and delving into these dating apps. It's the craziest and the scariest place in the world to be right now. Dating apps. I remember back years ago, my ex-husband I met on a dating app. I've met a lot of people on dating apps, but that was in the beginning when they came out and they were actually legitimate. You can meet wonderful people there. Now, not so much. It's a scary place to kind of harbor and spend time at this point in time. I won't say I'm afraid of it. I just don't delve in it. I have zero interest in online dating at this point. At one point in time, I would have endorsed it. Today, I won't. It's not safe. It's not safe. It's a lot of predators out there. It's a lot of cheaters on there. It's a lot of catfishing on there. It's a lot of people that are self-centered and just thinking only about themselves. Yeah. And it's scary. It's scary. So look at it for what it is. Be careful. Please be careful. And when I say mentally, physically, emotionally, look out for your well-being. More so your heart and the physical. Dating. So you meet somebody great. You meet somebody new. How long do you wait? I had someone call me a few weeks ago, and she asked me how long should she wait. I was like, girl, I can't tell you that. I can't tell you that. However, this is someone she had met and hadn't known 30 days. She had not known this man 30 days. However, at this point, she asked me how long should you wait. What she didn't tell me was she had not waited very long. She had not. She had already done the do. And at this point, it was a video call. Therefore, I couldn't, as I felt like doing. But since it was there, I had to compose myself because she was already in regret. She was in regret. And that's why she opposed the question. And since then, since that engagement, the whole situation has gone left. She's not even talking to this gentleman anymore. And she feels about that high. And so that was the deciding factor for me to go ahead and bring this up tonight, because it's necessary to have the conversations. It breaks my heart when, like I said, you have someone 35 and above, 50 and above. It's what's startling me the most, to know that there are men and women out here that are really careless and reckless with themselves and making decisions like that that are rash, that hasn't been thought through, hasn't been discussed. You know, waiting till marriage, that's one thing. Today's society is a whole different talk. And what hurt her most was that she had a situation. A situation came from that particular person, and she contracted a STD. So contracting STDs with someone you haven't even known 30 days, but you've given yourself to this person, that's scary. And the scariest thing is to not protect yourself in 2019. With all of the diseases that are taking place, it's heartbreaking, it's scary. It's scary. So, of course, she learned a lot from that, but it was after the fact. You don't want to think after the fact. You have conversations about your health, that person's health on the front end. It really changes your life. Literally can change your life. You can get something that you cannot get rid of. And that's what you don't want. You don't want that. Veronica Morris is saying, I was listening to music, Soul Child, today. And okay, you're scrolling on, Veronica. I don't know if I can get it. You listen to Music Soul Child today. Don't change. The lyrics in that song is beautiful. That's the relationship that you want to pray for. Yes, you want someone who has your back. You want someone who loves you for who you are and can grow you, make you that much more beautiful of a person. And you can't possibly attain that if you're in a relationship or if you're in a situation that's just a go with the flow situation. Because if I don't go with the flow, you know, he's going to leave me or she's going to leave me. I'll say smooches. Leave. I would prefer you leave now on the front end before something happens to me on the back end, to where an STD has come into place, AIDS, HIV have come into play, or you've gotten something that you just really can't get rid of. That is something that should be. I know it is for me. I just don't meet new people like that. You better believe I'm asking 1,000,001 questions. And you know where our first date is going to be? If it's somebody brand new that enters my life and I really am interested in him like that, our first date is going to be a physical. I need to know that you are a very clean and healthy person. I need to know that. That's what's invited. That's vital to me. That's important to me. And spending time, quality time, getting to know the individual. I believe in front porch dating. It's all about front porch dating, courting, and what courting really looks like. And some things you can't change up to what's new today. You can't change up to what's new. So until you take these things into your hands, your health, your life, because we only have one. We only have one life, and I suggest you make the best of it while you have it. Be very selective of the people that you allow into it, as well as what you desire. What's your heart's yearning? What are your relationship goals? Do you have any? Have you set any? Deborah Dixon, welcome in. Brooke Morris Tucker, hi sweet pie, welcome in. Your body is your temple. You're correct, Veronica. And if you don't protect it, if you don't keep it clean, if you don't understand what's happening, and if it's more than one person in this guy's life or in this girl's life and you know about it, why are you there? Why? Sneaking around, it's just not worth it. It's really not worth it. And I know some people will say, well, somebody, you know, a piece of a man or a piece of a woman is better than none at all. I beg to differ with that. I'd rather be by myself. I am all about being by myself and spending time with myself, investing in myself, personal development. It's so much you can do with that time that you have. It's not about being lonely or being alone. No, not at all. It's how you value your time. Knowing that you are enough and knowing that the person that enters your life is truly gaining a prize. When you are confident within your own skin and know this about yourself, then you can go out here. You can be without the drama. You don't have to have somebody in your life that's going to be detrimental to you, a health risk to you. You only have one life. That's all I can say, Sparrows. Please protect yourself. Ask the questions on the front end. Make your dates. One concerning health and exams. It's not a requirement for most anymore. And it baffles me, it blows my mind that so many mature, at least I think, or thought at one time, mature adults are having one-night stands or just rolling with things that are happening today just for the sake of having someone in their lives because they're afraid of being alone, don't know how to spend time with themselves, don't mind being number 2 or number 3 or number 4. It's more than enough to go around, men and women. Just know that you are enough and you are a prize, you're a queen, you're a king, you're all of that and then some. But to put your life at risk, unacceptable. It's unacceptable. So what are you willing to do to not settle? Are you someone that's currently settling, have settled in the past? I'm not ashamed to say it. I was doing it and wasn't realizing I was doing it because I'm with this person on and off for this amount of time. And so I really didn't care about that much because he was Mr. Right Now. I didn't care much because I'm living my life. I'm building up my life, educating myself, doing things as far as my career and things like that. So relationships wasn't on the forefront. of my life. So to just have someone to go to the movies with, hang out with, spend time with, you know, so Mr. Right Now was okay. No, it really wasn't okay. I know that now. I had to learn the hard way because I fell in love with Mr. Right Now, and he was not the one to be falling in love with. But then, was it really love? I have to question that. Was it? Because love and lust is strikingly close. Strikingly close. So when you look at the real for what it is, then you have to assess and assess accordingly. That's one thing that you have to do. So are you going to be having dealings with individuals that are not worthy of your time? If so, why? Ask yourself these vital questions. What does dating look like for you in your 30s, 40s, 50s, and beyond? That's why I'm here tonight. And I've grown accustomed to how to be with me. But are you comfortable being with yourself? Perfect timing, Maria Weathers. She said, you have to love yourself and have respect for yourself and never lower your standards. Yes, I agree, a wholehearted Maria. However, the whole situation of standards have been so laxed for the majority of people today, and it's scary. And that's why all of these side chicks and all of these things like that, you know, men cheating, women cheating, because there are quite a few women that I've come across paths with that has and is cheating on their husbands. And I'm like, you know what? Don't need to know that. Don't need to know that. I don't agree with that. You can't talk to me about what you're doing, because I'm all about rectifying, knowing where you are, you're in a relationship, whether you're married, dating or not. Respect the person that you're with to fix it. If you're not willing to fix it, get out of it. Why would you bring in another person? Why would you do that? Again, going back to STDs, they are real, live in effect. They're real. What do you do? What do you do? Are you willing to have nobody in your life? I'm good with it. I'm good with nobody in my life. Well, I won't say nobody, because I always have my relationship with Christ first. I have my friends. I have my family. I have things that keep me super busy, like what I'm doing right now. Seeing what's going on in communities and talking about it. I'm not ashamed to talk about things. My gosh, I put my business in a book. So by me sharing who I am here, because of that 4-letter word, LOVE, it'll put you in a place in your life that you never planned to be. It'll do it. But that LOVE, that 4-letter word, can easily turn into another 4-letter word, HATE. The whole thin line between love and hate. It's real. It is real. And it can really put you in a position to where you're stalking. He's stalking. She's stalking. Because they don't know how to let go. You decide to leave because it's toxic. You decide to leave. They don't want to accept that. Unfortunately, I know what that feels like. And it's still an open case. So I'm not going to say a whole lot about it. So you have to be mindful of those people that you think are so great in your life at the time. How are they when you have a disagreement? What happens? What happens during those times when you decide to walk away or he walks away? That alter ego, that girl stands up or that guy stands up and not willing to let you go. Showing up at your house. Continual phone calls. You block. They call from random phone numbers, unknowns, things like that. Trickery to get you on the phone. But crossing the line, showing up at your house. I had to have a moment of silence on that. A moment of silence on that, because it's real. If it had not happened to me, I wouldn't be so about it. But this is someone that you know, someone that you love, that you respect once upon a time. You really sincerely had true feelings for once upon a time. And that's where that whole fine line between love and hate comes into play, because that person that you thought you knew has become someone that you don't recognize at all. Doesn't matter about the length of time. Denise Briggs, she brought that up. So when you really start dissecting things, what does dating look like for you? Present or past? It doesn't matter if you're in the room and you're married. You can recall a time when something wasn't quite right in a relationship that you were in. It changes you as an individual. It does. Welcome to the room, Whittington. Crystal Rogers, welcome in. So know for a fact who you are as an individual. That's what's important. Know who you are in order to dissect and know who you're willing to accept into your lives. And it makes it easier for you to kind of dismiss someone who's not supposed to be a part of your life. It makes it easier for you to let them go because you know they're not someone that should be present in your life at all. It's easier to do. You know, we have that whole representative. We have that person, and that representative can be on display for quite a while. There's no time limit for representatives. But that day when that true person stands up, like the ex-husband, that day he stood up, I was like, oh my gosh, who is this? At this time, this is someone I've married. And you think you know somebody. So you can be married and in a position. You never know anybody 100%. Never, ever know someone 100%. You can know them very well. Because as you're growing and changing, they're growing and changing also. And you have to respect that for what it is. Are you growing together? Are you having the conversations? Are you true and honest and committed to each other? Be mindful of that. If you ever start growing apart, that's an issue. Talk, communicate, have those date nights. That's for my married people. Have those date nights and really spend quality time for the singles before you marry or connect yourself with someone like that. Maria Weathers says that it's very real. People we thought we knew. You never know anybody, Maria. You don't know anybody. The question is, do you know yourself? That's the real identity booster here. That's the conversation. How well do you know yourself? How well? Because you're constantly growing, changing, evolving every day. And relationships change. All your relationships change. Your relationships with your friends, your relationships with your mates, your husbands, spouses, partners, whatever you want to call it. We are constantly changing. But are we evolving together? Are we? And if not, how are you going to change that? How are you going to do that? Some say it's scary. To me, it's not scary. It's just being conscious. Be conscious and do everything in all of your relationships with intention. Good intentions. So whatever you put out, you know you're going to get back. Double, triple fold. If your heart and your mind, your thoughts are in the right place. So look at it from that standpoint. I know if it's something specific I'm looking for in a relationship or someone that I want to be a companion or whatever in my life, I know to put out into the universe what it is that I am looking for. The thing that I'm praying about. So when I talk to Big Brother, I'm talking to God. I'm like, you know what, God? You know me better than I know myself. I have now learned to want what you have for me and not what I feel like I want for myself. So when that big time question is asked, you know, by anyone that I meet, you know, Valerie, what are you looking for? in a mate. I'll say I'll know it when I meet him. And he'll know it when he meets me also. I don't have that list anymore. We've all carried a list at some point in time. We can have preferences or whatnot. There's nothing wrong with that. We all like what we like. We're attracted to whatever we're attracted to. There's nothing wrong with that. However, just be mindful, are you attracted to the right things? And why are you attracted to those particular things that you have as a part of your list? That's the $1 million question. So I've basically taken the list completely off of my table and just live my life doing what I enjoy doing. And if I meet someone fabulous along the way, then great. However, right now, like I said, I'm on isolation island. I'm focused on my business. I'm focused on doing things to better individuals like you and personally developing who you are and who you're becoming every day because of who you've been in the past, which has sculpted you to who you are today. And then in the back of your mind, where you're going to be becoming, where you're going. We're all in search in our lives. And at the end of the day, the relationships along the way are just tips of the iceberg. However, the relationship you have with yourself, the relationship you have with God, with your higher power, that's the ultimate. So anybody else that comes in and fill those voids that you feel that you may have, I want the right person to come along to be someone equal yoke with me. Because right now I can say I am a whole person. I love me enough to where I can be with me. I don't have to have somebody in my space all the time. I don't have to be on dates every other week. I don't have to be with Jimmy this week, Johnny next week, Terry the week after, or Philip moving on forward. For example, I'm just saying. But there are habitual daters out here because they are afraid to spend time with themselves. And that's for the simple fact they don't know who they are. They're afraid of discovering who they are. They're embarrassed about where they've been, who they've been. Don't feel like they're good enough. When in essence, you really are. You are. Accept you for who you are and move forward from the present. Stop keeping yourself stifled in spaces. Hi, Kim Kim. Welcome to the room. So, that's it, guys and gals. I just felt like talking about that. And there's so much more. I can go on and on and on. Yeah, I even jotted a couple things down to make sure that I didn't forget everything. I wanted to make sure I not forget to bring up certain things. And I think I've covered the majority here. I really believe I have. Perfectly timed. Stokely's in the background level. If you haven't heard Stokely, I even created a playlist for this. And I think I'm going to take the playlist and I'm going to just pop it in on my announcement for tonight's topic. Because these songs will cause you to really go back in your mind and question some of the decisions that you've made. And why are you currently still making the same decisions that you did when you were 17 or younger? And you're now 30s, 40s, 50s. You should have grown, changed in spaces to where it's not good, it's not cool, it's not the thing. Why are you making those decisions? That's it. That's what I do. I have these conversations, whether it's relationships, careers, it doesn't matter. However, Stokely is talking about level. Meet somebody that's on your level. And if you know some spaces that you need to grow in those spaces. And if you need to grow in those spaces, don't connect yourself to somebody else because you're not qualified to date. And you're not qualified to date when you need to fix something that's bruised or broken. You're not ready yet. That's what I'm saying when I say you're not qualified. Make sure you're in a good place. Make sure you have leveled up for yourself to be confident and loving and loyal, committed. And you know when you meet someone, you can be true to that individual as you would expect them to be true to you. Be able to give what you're looking for. That's what it's all about. So level up. Be who you are. Be free in that space. Be faithful. Be fabulous. Be fancy. Do what you have to do throughout your becoming. So I'm telling you, it's been real on the island for quite a bit of time, and it's to the point to where, yeah, I'm ready to kind of get off the island now. I'm ready, because you have to make sure that all of that drama, all that crazy toxicity has been put behind you, and you have gone through a soul detoxification. And a soul detoxification is definitely necessary. It's about purging out all the individuals that you've had in your heart before. Those spirits, every single person you've been with has left a part of their spirit behind with you. Whether if you want to accept it or not, it's there. And you need to purge it. Write a letter to each and every one of them. You don't have to mail it to them, but get those feelings out of your heart. Things that were left unsaid, that needed to be said, write them down. And in the book, I talk about detoxification and how to get rid of spirits and those soul ties that you've allowed into your life. Whether if they're still in your life or not, they're still there unless you detox them. You don't want to take those spirits into anything new and fabulous that you're praying for, your heart is yearning for. You want to leave those men or women of the past in the past. So when you're starting something new, then you're prepared for something new. You're open-minded, you're free, you're loving, you're kind, you're ready. You're ready. Make sure you're ready. That's all I can say. Be ready when the time comes. Because if you're praying for it, you're hoping for it, you're talking to God about it, you're telling all of your friends you're going to meet your Boaz. But for me, it's Boaz Solomon. I just take characteristics, not the individuals. It's characteristics of Boaz and Solomon in my mind. Because at the end of the day, that person that God has for me is for me. That person that is meant for you is meant for you. However, you can't invite someone fabulous into your life if you're not fabulous to receive it. That's what I'm going to say on that. That is it. And that is all. That is it. So is there anything that you all would like to say before I sign off? It's almost 8 o'clock. And I've gone on and on and on and on. I know some comments that I have missed. What I will do is go back and respond to each and every one. But I just wanted to have a heart-to-heart, a one-on-one with you tonight. That's all I wanted. Happy birthday to you, Whittington. Happy birthday, girlie. So that's what's important. Making sure your heart is good. Make sure your heart is good. Be prepared for what you're praying for. Because in the meantime, if you're not preparing yourself for the person you're praying for, what's the point of asking? They're going to come and pass you right by because you're going to be bruised and broken. Mend what needs to be mended. Be prepared. Enjoy your life. All the things that you've been wanting to do those things. It's no reason to wait for someone to do them with. If you can't enjoy your own time, what's the point? What's the point? I love QT with myself, honey. I promise you that. I love it. Welcome to the room, William. Hello, cousin. Come on in. But that is pretty much it. I don't want to continue to go because I will continue to have these segments like this. Girl Talk Guys 2. So whenever you see in a post, Girl Talk Guys 2, it's going to be one of these situations like this today. Because it's necessary to have the conversations. And it's not strictly for singles. I know my married friends, they have their troubles as well. Being on that side also, I am a divorcee. So I can understand it from both sides of the fence. However, I learned so much from every space of my life. That's why it's easy for me to share with you. I'm not embarrassed at all. I will tell you any and everything that I need to share with you that's going to help you get over a space that you're in, to deal with your heart woes, and catapult you into a place where you can be free, where you can love and love wholeheartedly, without conditions, without qualm, not being a narcissistic person and putting demands on individuals because you want something specific from them. When you're dating someone and things don't seem to be adding up, this isn't the person you know that is aligned to be in your life, be honest with yourself and that person. Cut your losses and move on. It's that easy. You don't have to make it complicated. You don't. You really don't. So in Eric Robinson's, this is the last track that I have, so it's perfectly timed that I had 10 tracks on here. Eric Robinson said, I'm not trying to keep score no more. And with that particular song, it's perfect to landslide the close of tonight. When you have grown up, you have matured, you know what you want in life, you know what you desire, you've prayed about it, and you may have met that person at this point. Build on that. Build on it. Love on them. Because it doesn't become a game anymore. You're dead serious. And like he said, I'm not trying to keep score no more. It's not about winning. You both can win when you're trusting and loyal and kind to yourself. You're respecting each other. And you can be honest about what you're feeling, what you're looking for, what your desires are. And then they can say, yes, I can, yes, I can, yes, I can. And not because it needs to be a checklist. It's because they've already shown you. They've shown you who they are. And you can be grateful for it. Like, oh my God, thank you. Could be somebody you know. Could be somebody in your camp already. Maybe somebody you haven't even met yet. But love yourself enough to keep yourself available until that time comes. Fill your voids by falling in love with yourself first. When you love you, you won't take any shortcuts on you. So don't be with somebody who will take shortcuts on you also, who won't treat you with respect or love and kindness. Don't. No settling. That's it. That's it. That's all I have to say. Maria Weathers is saying, learn the things to embrace and the things to let go. Yeah. In reality, Maria, you know what? It's more to let go than to hold on to. The smaller you keep your circle, the greater your gain. And you realize you've had everything you needed all the time within yourself. It's all about displaying who your beauty is and how your beauty shines in the reflection of somebody else. Because you attract basically where you're bruised and broken. You attract that. So when you continue to meet somebody and everything you say that you don't like about them, chances are it's what's bruised and broken within yourself. That's just life reflecting itself back at you to say, okay, you need to work on these things yourself. Because when you start trying to change it within somebody else, no, it's all about you, boo. So look at that for what it is. So when you finally meet somebody that's amazing and you align that equal yoke situation, you've already done your work, he's already done the work, then it's easy for you to have fabulous engagement. Spend time laughing, having a good time, because love truly has nothing to do with it. It's all about respect, being kind, and being who you are with somebody else freely. That's what it's all about. So that reflection of yourself now displays where you've healed what's been bruised, what's been broken. That's it. Live life abundantly with somebody who's deserving to be with you and spending that with you. That's it, my sweets. 8 on the dot. So on that note, since you guys don't have anything else to chirp about, I'm going to say love without conditions. Always possess a positive attitude and soar in all you do. I love you, mean it. Smooches. I want to let you listen to a little Eric Roberson. And then I'm going to just click off because I really love this guy. He's amazing. Just remember, you've gotten to the point of being with who you need to be with when you no longer try to keep score. Well, you're no longer trying to change somebody else because you're fabulous in your own right and you accept them for who they are and you only spotlight where they're fabulous as well. That's it, Sparrows. Love you, mean it. Ciao.